Hey, everybody, and welcome to the first AFTN Euros prediction show. I was going to say the first Euro 2020 Euro prediction show, but obviously there is only one Euro 2020, except this year it's also Euro 2021. I'm Michael McCall.
Steve Pander.
And I'm Zachary Adam Eisenheimer.
And we're going to just have a bit of a fun look ahead to the tournament that kicks off on Friday. The time some of you watch this, the time this comes out, the first game may be in the bag. That's Turkey against Italy. Kicks off at noon Pacific time. So we're going to delve into a little look around all the groups. We're going to pick who we think's going to win it overall, who maybe surprise packages are going to be, top scorers, all that kind of stuff. I'm at Hampden Park, as you can see here. I'm probably going to switch this background off because it's kind of annoying me, and at night time, every time I move about, it keeps kind of fluctuating a little bit. Love the old style map that's behind Steve, though. That's a fantastic map of Europe there. I really like that. So we'll get into all of that, and then we're also going to be doing our Euro 2020 sweep, our pool. We're going to pick 8 teams each just to see which one of us maybe knows the best or has the most luck as this tournament gets underway. I'm proudly wearing my Scotland top, as you can see, representing my nation. Zach representing his nation, Deutschland, and Steve doesn't really have a dog in this race.
I know, but I kind of put on the most European color thing I had, which is Italy.
Yeah.
I'm representing Mass.
I'm wearing nice. I'm representing the country of my ancestors.
So yeah, but we'll have a lot of fun, I'm sure, doing this. Let us know in the comment section as well who you've got to win the groups, who you've got to win the tournament, and anything else that we would chat about tonight. So, I mean, just getting straight into it, like, let's start with you, Zach. Are you excited for this tournament? It's obviously been pushed back a year. It maybe takes a little bit of the shine off it, but what are you expecting, what are you hoping for? Are you excited for it?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's really different. This is the first time in my following of football. And so, yeah, my clubs are Canada, which has never been in anything but the Gold Cup in my time, and the country of my ancestors in Germany. And this is the first time I've gone into one of these tournaments with such incredibly low expectations. And that's not a pun about the coach either. But no, like, seriously, I never before, like, I've always been like super confident about, being top 4 or maybe at the very worst top 8. Like, that would be like horrific, but still whatever. I think Germany might come third and maybe get a third place spot, going into this. Like,
it's funny you should say that. Like, I don't want to jump too far ahead. I have them as one of my surprise packages, but not all surprises are good.
Yeah. So, but no, in general, I'm excited about the tournament because the other thing that's been different is, and we've talked about this over the years, is that I've done this. I've been on this journey away from national team football being more important, and I am now more over where club football is more important for me. And because I mean, other than Canada, like Canada, I'm excited all the time, nonstop, and engaged and following. But the international game as a whole, I'm less excited about. I follow it less. I've never watched less than I have, like, in terms of highlights and figuring stuff out. Whatever. I've never watched less of it. But at this point, like, going to this tournament, it has me excited because I don't know everything and I don't know all the players. So I'm excited to watch teams play and how they're going to set up and who's going to be playing and who's kind of in and who's kind of out. Because, like, even like with Germany now, like, I've watched a little bit of their stuff, but, like, yeah, they're playing like a 3-4-3, which is really weird, like, to see, and using players that, like, I don't know as well. I mean, most of them I know because they play in the Bundesliga, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. So I'm excited in a different way than I've been excited before. Usually I'm like over the moon, like, we're going to win this, or we can win this, or we should win this. But now I'm just like, yeah, excited just to see what happens and how it unfolds.
What about yourself, Steve? Do you have a level of expectation or a level of excitement going into this, or are you a bit meh about the whole thing?
No, I'm excited about it because I'm kind of a neutral, so I don't have a rooting team to go for. Like there are teams I like and teams I dislike. So you have that kind of thing, but you're really looking for just fun games. And it's timing wise, it's great for me too, because working at home, I have a big screen TV while I'm working. It's not like I have to like look up into the ceiling in order to follow a game, or look into my phone or something if I was in the office. So for the first time, I'm able to watch a big screen TV while I'm watching like a Euros without having to, call in sick or something to watch a game. It's exciting that way.
Which of course you would never do for any future employers watching this.
Never done that at all.
I mean, for me, it's the first time in 23 years that Scotland has got back to a major tournament. On the men's side, the women obviously qualified for the 2019 Women's World Cup. When I was a little boy growing up, Scotland qualified for all these tournaments, like from 74 to 90, 5 straight World Cups. And they didn't do 94, but they were back at it in 98. They qualified for the 92 and the 96 Euros. So that was an era that, for me and people of my age, we expected Scotland to be there. It was just like, oh yeah, qualifying, we'll get through it, we'll be there. It was touch and go on a couple of occasions, but they always seemed to come through. And then there's a whole generation now that have never seen Scotland at a major tournament. And it's a bit of a sickener, really, in the fact that COVID means it's limited attendance. There's 2 games in the group stages and 1 in the round of 16 at Hampden. So Scotland's at home for 2 of these games, and there's only going to be 12,000 fans in at Hampden because of COVID restrictions, and only 2,000 of those tickets have officially been sold to Scotland fans. So just to qualify for this tournament and to have had fans there, it would have been so special to the country. And they can't even really congregate in the pubs to watch it the way that they would have. So it's a little bit, the shine's off it in that regard. But I know so many folk are just excited to be back there. I'm excited to see Scotland in a tournament. Up until a few weeks ago, I wasn't overly confident about them, but we'll come to that when we get to their group. But I'm really excited for it. These 6 a.m. games I'm not overly excited for, I've got to say. Scotland's first game is at 6 a.m. I was getting pelters on my East Fife show for saying I probably wasn't going to get up for it. I was going to PVR it and not watch it live. I've been shamed into getting up at 6 a.m, so I'll be doing that on Monday, I think.
Do you need a wake-up call or anything like that?
Oh, Caitlin's here.
Okay.
She's my wake-up call, mainly with her snoring, but that's a whole other story. I want to ask you guys what you think about there being these multiple hosts. I mean, are you a fan of it? Do you think it maybe devalues the tournament a little bit? Or is it good that these countries are all getting to host games and getting to host a tournament, Zach?
I guess I have mixed feelings about it. I think in one sense, it's nice to try something different. In another sense, the timing maybe couldn't be worse, like in terms of a pandemic. Like it might be nicer to have these all closer together in a smaller place, but I think it's okay. I'm glad that this is not like the way forward. Like the next one's 2024 is in Germany, right?
Yeah, it is.
Which, oh man, that's so tempting. If Canada doesn't make 2022, I think I'm going to try and go in 2024. Assuming we're allowed to travel to such things.
Yeah.
But
I might as well, actually. That would be a good one. I'm even thinking of the 2023 Women's World Cup because I've always wanted to go to Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
A chance to do both things.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, it's different and it's not different like gimmicky. So I'm okay with it, them trying something like this. But
my dog just having a nightmare by the sounds of it there.
A shocker. No. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting I think it'll be interesting to see if there are any effects on this for like the players, right? Because when you're in one country, the travel is very limited, all that kind of stuff. There's some not insignificant travel, even if not when you get to the knockout the knockouts, and you're moving from one place to another.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see if that plays any role, and if the players or coaches or medical teams have any concern or frustration over that. But in terms of doing it and trying it, I'm okay with it. I also didn't mind, was it the Euro 2000 was Holland, Belgium? That wasn't so bad. Right? The two small countries next to each other.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that. And I mean, talking of travel, obviously, the 2026 World Cup is going to be horrendous travel potentially for some teams with Canada, America, and Mexico in it. I mean, Steve, like looking at some of the things like Group B, the games are getting played in Copenhagen and St. Petersburg. So, like Denmark and Russia. Group E, it's Spain and Russia. That's a lot of travel for these teams to do. It's kind of baffling in a lot of ways.
Yeah, more than they're used to, especially considering their domestic leagues are so close together. There's very little travel. So for them to travel like this, it's almost like they find out what it's like to be an MLS player with the traveling. So it is the way they're set up and everything it is very. I can't understand why they set it up. You think they would be able to set these up a little bit closer if you're going to have two countries that are near each other, and that way you don't have that much traveling. You almost have like almost do like a Poland Ukraine kind of thing for different groups, like that kind of setup where it's side by side. So yeah, it is kind of. I'm not sure why they came up with it. I don't remember reading anything on it, but I guess it's just people. Maybe it's just the money talks and people bid on certain games or something like that. That's the only thing I could think of.
Well, I mean, Group A, let's just kick things off looking at things. So Group A features Italy, Wales, Switzerland and Turkey. Those games are getting played in Rome in Italy and Baku in Azerbaijan. So again, not an insignificant amount of travel there. Tournament, as I mentioned, gets underway on Friday with Italy taking on Turkey. Then on Saturday, it's Wales and Switzerland. An interesting group that, for me, I feel there's probably an overall favourite, but then second, third and fourth, very much up for grabs.
Yeah, there is definitely a definite favorite in there. Do you want to do the predictions right now, or where our consensus predictions?
Yeah.
Or do you want to wait
So I mean, I'm assuming we all feel Italy's going to win this. Yeah.
I think there's a chance that Switzerland could play spoiler in this group, or not spoiler, but could upset Italy in this group. An outside chance. Because Italy, even when they do well at tournaments, they often don't start, or they've had a number of tournaments where they don't start well in the tournament, and it's like they need that in tournament turmoil or conflict to overcome. And so I could see them coming second in the group to Switzerland, or even potentially Turkey. And as little as I know about this Turkish team, it's probably like. Turkey is a team always comes into tournament with like a great spirit, a great collectiveness, a great unity. And I know a few of their players, and I don't know. I think those are going to be the top three. I think Gareth Bale's golf team is gonna finish fourth. But
okay, so let's do the predictions, because I got the screen up right now for people to watch at home. So we think Italy's going to finish first, right?
Sure. Yeah, for me, it's Italy. The only thing that I would say about this group is, if you look beyond this, that is an absolute nightmare half of the draw. Because if Italy were to win their group, then depending on how other things play out, we won't get too far ahead, Italy could face Belgium in the quarterfinals. And then whoever wins that could face France in the semi-finals. Yeah. So in a lot of ways, finishing second in that group might not be the worst possible thing that would happen for a country. But I mean, Italy's going into this. They've not given up a goal in 8 games, I think it is. And then Turkey's coming into this with the best defensive record in the qualifying stages.
And the youngest team in the tournament, apparently, too.
Oh.
So I personally think Turkey will finish second in this group. I have them ahead of Switzerland. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I went back and forth with this, but I in the end I went with Turkey second, Switzerland third, Wales fourth.
Okay, so that's what we got there.
I think the upset's more likely to be for that. But I mean, I have Turkey tying Italy in the opening game in my game by game predictions. But I mean, for consensus, if we wanted to go Turkey second, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm surprised Michael hasn't made any yeah. What's your old buddy?
Ziggy.
Who's passed away. Yeah.
I won't make those jokes anymore,
Right.
out of respect. But I mean, Turkey could be a surprise package. But
Yeah, they're one of mine, possibly.
Yeah, if they finish second in the group, they've got not a bad kind of run for a little bit. And then it's just, if they can get their defence sort of being as stingy as they were in the qualifying, then, I mean, your defences win championships is the old cliche. So, I mean, you never know. But, I mean, Italy, I feel they're looking good. Immobile up front is going to be a guy that's going to be in the conversation, I think, for Golden Boot. Switzerland and Wales, I mean, the Swiss are one of those teams that they kind of play a bit of a boring game, but they seem to know how to grind out the results.
Yeah.
Wales, I'm not expecting much from Wales at all in this. I think they kind of peaked at the 2016 finals, and the group's older now. They're maybe not as dynamic as they were before, but...
And how much has their star player played in the last little bit? He hasn't really played that much, from what I remember. I don't think he's played very much for Real Madrid.
No.
He's basically been on the bench. So that probably plays the biggest factor for me. Okay,
Anything else you want to say about Group A? I think that's pretty much covered it.
Yeah. Group B. Belgium, Russia, Denmark, Finland.
Now, I mean, Belgium are the bookies' favourites to win this whole thing. So they've got to be favourites, I feel, to get through. But, I mean, we talked in our first part of our podcast about the pressure, the weight of expectations on John Herdman and Canada. Now, Belgium went into the last World Cup with a lot of expectations on them. Number one ranked country in the world, all these talented players, a golden generation. And they struggled at times. I mean, they just squeaked past Korea. Do you feel the pressure might be on them a little bit too much?
Yeah, I think there's huge pressure on them, but I really think this is one of the terms where they're gonna overcome that, or they're gonna maybe overcome it more so than they have in the past. The bigger thing I think they have to overcome than the pressure right now is their injury woes, right? With De Bruyne, not going to play the first game for sure. I think Axel Witsel is also carrying a knock or an injury that might keep him out of the first game or longer. They have some issues in that sense that they need to overcome, but I think for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, they've been this team with like a wealth of talent that just hasn't been able, like Roberto Martinez hasn't been able to like fit them together. He hasn't been able to put the jigsaw puzzle quite in the row, or it's like one of those moving puzzles, things, and he hasn't been able to get it just right. It's always been a little bit off. And I hope for their sake that even though they're coming in with some external issues like injuries, that they are able to go really, really far in this term. So in this group, I know it's like they're the on paper favorite, but I definitely have them coming first in the group.
I mean, I mentioned they were like one of the favourites to win the whole thing, but they're in the betting. I mean, it's the betting's so tight just now. I mean, France, you're probably looking at 4s for them, 5 on England, 5 or 6 on Belgium. So I mean, it's a toss up. I think the injuries is maybe what's made Belgium really kind of third favourites. But I mean, what are you expecting from them, Steve?
They're one of my surprise packages that the fact that they're so favored that they're not going to win. I think they will have a little bit of a run-in with Denmark, I feel, in this group, but overall they should be well. And then I think either in that first knockout stage or the second one, I think they get knocked. Basically, somebody beats them. I can't remember who the combinations and everything,
Well, I
but
mean,
they will face stiff competition eventually. And I
yeah.
think first test they will lose for me.
If Belgium get through as group winners, then the way that I've done this, well, obviously look at this, I've got them possibly playing Sweden in the round of 16, but then, as I mentioned, they would potentially have Italy in the quarterfinals, France in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Any team that gets through that deserves to be winners, really.
Yeah.
So it's a tough path ahead for them. And yeah, it's like the slightest mistake they could fall at any hurdle. What about the rest of the group? I mean, I think Denmark might be quite strong in this one.
I have them easily as the second place.
Yeah.
Out of these four. And then for me, it's Russia and Finland's last. I don't have very much faith in them. I think they could surprise in half of a game against somebody, but I don't see them winning a game at all.
It's exactly what I've got as well.
I'm opposite you guys. I have Finland beating Russia and
Yeah,
coming
okay.
third. It might not be good enough to get out, to get to the next round.
Yeah.
But I have them. I have them beating Russia. I think Puki's going to get a few goals in this tournament and really help them.
The thing with Russia, it's like they always seem to go into tournaments where there's maybe been high hopes and they just don't play that well. Russia 2018 at the World Cup, they obviously had that home crowd behind them, and that's what I think might get them over the line here, because they've got two of the group games in St. Petersburg. So I think that is going to help them.
And there's probably no restrictions there at all.
Well, from watching my DLB videos and stuff, where they're out at nightclubs every Friday and Saturday doing gigs and stuff, there's no social distancing, no masks, nothing. So I'm expecting a packed St. Petersburg stadium.
I think they're gonna take a significant loss in the opening game in St. Petersburg against Belgium, and I think that Finland's going to be able to overcome them also in St. Petersburg in the second game.
I'm willing to switch it then. I'm willing to go Finland number 3. I'll take Zach's word for that.
Oh,
I
think the home crowd. I would see the home crowd at St. Petersburg getting
I'm swayed by both of
line.
you guys because I don't know very much all about Finland. I honestly don't.
Your call.
Yeah, you can put Russia ahead, but as long as we note on the record that I'm.
Oh, you picked Finland. Okay, I'll put. I think Russia will. I initially went for Russia. That I think that Russia will have enough to, because they have the big tournament experience as well, but Finland doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing.
I could see Russia Finland drawing and then it being goal difference. So that's why. But I don't think
I had that as a tie, and then I chose Finland because I wanted to put them a little bit higher.
I don't think the third place team in that group's going to go through. So
yeah, I agree.
I think that's one of the ones that will miss out. So Group C. Now, I'll come in right away and say this is where one of my surprise packages is. I see North Macedonia getting through this group, maybe in third spot. It's Netherlands, Austria, North Macedonia, Ukraine. And I know North Macedonia beat Germany. I'm not just basing it on that. I just feel there's a bit of a belief in the team. It is an old team. I mean, I think their talisman's like 37 now, so it might be a tough for them. But Ukraine's another one of these countries that they kind of underperform at the major tournaments. Holland, for me, I can't see them not winning this group. Austria's been on a bit of a good run. Scotland's played both Holland and Austria in games recently. The Netherlands game was a friendly. Austria was in sort of World Cup qualifying. Both were draws. The Netherlands, though, had a little bit of quality. They felt they were maybe just going through the paces a little bit against Scotland. But for me, I see Netherlands winning this, then Austria. But then I've got North Macedonia third and Ukraine fourth.
Yeah, I have Ukraine fourth for sure. I have North Macedonia third. I want to put Austria first because of people like David Alaba and Martin Hinterjäger and some of the other Bundesliga players. But you got to put that would be a significant upset. And so I think you're right. Holland first and Austria second.
Yeah, this is another one where I'm confident in the top two spots being Netherlands and Austria. I'm not as confident as 3 and 4. typically I would say Ukraine would be that third place team. But knowing that Northern Macedonia basically has a major upset, you don't expect them to be here. I think that kind of thing, they're going to be like the Iceland of this Euro tournament, where they just do stuff that nobody expects. I can see them having a surprise result against the Netherlands or Austria. Honestly, I don't know very much about them, but just the way they played, their kind of style of play.
I'm hoping Finland is kind of like the Iceland of the tournament. But I mean, Ukraine is coached by Shevchenko, and I mean, I don't. The problem is he doesn't have a Shevchenko in his team.
Yeah,
in his team. But yeah, I think the North Macedonia, the victory over Germany, that was World Cup qualifying, wasn't it? I think it was. I think it's the first time we lost.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yes.
I think it's the first time we've ever lost in World Cup qualifying, or something a long time. No, I think it was the first time ever Germany's lost. Anyways,
the thing for me though with this group is, see, whoever wins it, their path through this is potentially amazing, because let's just say Holland won it. They would play the third place team in Scotland's group, which could be Scotland, could be Croatia. Very winnable games for Holland. Then they could then play the winner of Turkey-Denmark, depending on how they finish in their groups. It could very easily, like Holland could get to the semi-finals, and I think that's a bit of an unfashionable team that could do that.
Yeah, but they've kind of been resurging back. They had a major dip in their international play and everything in tournaments and whatever. But I think they've had a little bit of resurgence. They've had, those teams that in the domestic leagues that have done well. Some of those players have gone on to bigger clubs. And so there are players there that can make a big difference. And I think they will. This will be the tournament that maybe puts them a little bit back on the map, where they slid off a little bit before.
The only thing I would say is when they played Scotland in a friendly last week, it was 2-2. And Scotland had 7 of their guys out because of a positive COVID test and self-isolating. And Scotland had a lot of fun with that Dutch defence. So they need to plug some of the holes in the back there if they're missing, wanting to make a big run.
I believe they're missing one of their top defenders too. The guy that comes from Liverpool, Van Dijk, I think, or is he from somewhere else? I can't remember. But he's not on the tournament. Yeah. I think he's injured or something like that. So, and he's one of their better defenders.
Oh yeah, he's a massive loss for them. He's a massive loss for the tournament. He obviously was a massive loss for Liverpool this year. I mean,
I think the added incentive,
and he's so dominant in defending, and he's good in set pieces that,
you've got the added incentive that, as I said, if you win this group, you've got a kind of easiest path to maybe the semis. Let's get to the main group. It's the only one I care about, I'll be honest. It's Group D. It's Scotland, Croatia, Czech Republic, and I think that's it. I think there's only 3 teams in this group. No, there's England as well. You guys go first in this.
I think when I was doing some of my prediction stuff, I think I chose, like, for fun, I gave Scotland some points. I think I gave them like 4 points. I had them losing to England, but I had them tying the Czech Republic and then overcoming an off-form Croatia in my first go through. But the more, like, Croatia, when you look at the lineup, obviously they're old. Like, they're much older. They're missing some players. Rakitic is not there. Mario Mandzukic, former Bayern player, is not there. Champions League winner with Bayern is not there. But I think people either don't know well enough or don't appreciate well enough some of the players that they do have in an attack. Croatia. One of them is Rebic. He, I think, is going to have a really, really, really big tournament. And I fancy him to, like, contribute, like, highly for them. And the other guy, is Andre Kramaric, another guy who is very, very talented. And I think when you put those two together with likely, let's say, Ivan Perisic, if those are your front 3, I think even though Luka Modric is slow, and I'm not sure how fit Matteo, I can't pronounce his name, but the midfielder guy who's played for Chelsea and Real, even though maybe they're not the most dynamic, I think with those kind of attacking options, they're still able to do enough damage that they can't be totally counted out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think even though Modric is slow, I think he still is just as dangerous playing in the midfield. They're going to have some kind of tactics where they do protect him. I don't know if you guys agree though, but I can kind of see him like a Pirlo for Croatia, where he just sits in the midfield and just distributes the ball wherever it needs to go. And so I kind of do like that. I think Czech Republic, I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on them a little bit. I think they could be dangerous as well. And obviously Scotland, I'm not going to talk about them. I'm going to give Michael as much time for Scotland to talk about. England, they're a team that everybody thinks should win, and especially themselves, the country, and it rarely ever happens. So I could see them finishing anywhere from first to third in this group, even though they're probably the favorites to win this group. To
be fair, England's never won anything without the help of an official. So, there's that. But and the Queen. You're right. The hype is for England is always something you feel like hurts them.
Yeah.
And remember, their group games are all at Wembley, right? So it's like, I've heard some people make like crazy predictions against them because of that, which I think are like kind of crazy. They're going to qualify out of this group.
Yeah.
I think the struggle will be, do they slip up somewhere and then finish second? They're the odds-on favorite.
I believe it actually benefits them to finish second. I think
it does. You don't want to win this group because you could be possibly facing Portugal either in the round of 16 or quarterfinals. I can't remember what one it was off the top of my head, but winning this group is not great.
I think they might be playing the third team in that group of death that we're going to come to. The third place team in the first round.
That might be what it is, yeah.
So I think it's something like that. So it's a very dangerous group to win in this place. So are we going to give them the win then?
Yeah. I have this horrible feeling in my stomach that this is going to be a really good tournament for England. I know they had home advantage in 96, but that did take them over the line on occasions. I think England's going to be strong. A lot of it with England is like Harry Kane. If you give him a chance in the box, he's gonna bury it. Midfield, Phil Foden, I think, could be a standout guy for them. I think a lot of their hopes of going deep is whether Raheem Sterling is on form or not. And if he can really get going up that wing, he's going to cause a lot of damage in the group games. I'll come to Scotland last. Croatia. Now, they are an old team, as you said, and obviously Modric, he's still got it, but he's got some old legs as well. When I was doing our Glory to the Gold preview, I kind of had delved into a lot of these guys, and like Kramaric, is that it? Kramaric? The guy that plays for Hoffenheim.
Kramaric, yeah.
Yeah, he looks so dangerous. Like, I didn't know too much about him, and then when I was looking at it, 25 goals and 6 assists in 34 games across all competitions for Hoffenheim this year. Yep. So he's in a rich vein of form. So, he's going to be deadly. I see Scotland drawing with Croatia. I see them getting past the Czech Republic in that first game. And Scotland's chances of qualifying lie in this first game. They play the Czechs at Hampden. They're going to have the crowd behind them. They're going to be really up for it. If they can get past the Czechs, I see Scotland qualifying, and I see them getting 4 points because I think they'll draw with Croatia. I think they'll give England a good run for their money, but they'll maybe lose by a couple of goals. The Czech Republic have not had a good build-up to this tournament. They got hammered by England. They got hammered by Italy. They didn't score a goal. I think in one of the games they didn't even have a shot on target. My danger man for the Czechs is West Ham midfielder Thomas Souček, who 10 goals for West Ham this year, playing mainly in a deep-lying defensive midfielder role. So he's the guy that Scotland in particular, they can't give him space. They've got to track his runs. They've got to pick him up. Scotland's an interesting one because we don't have it's not a sexy team. It's not a team that you look at and it's got star-studded players. Our two best players are both left backs. That's the problem that Scotland's had. And
It's
it's
the
like,
Eliadnan effect.
yeah, it's like, how do you get two left backs into a team? And as the Whitecaps have shown with Ali Adnan and Christian Gutierrez, you play one in left midfield. So they've kind of got Andy Robertson from Liverpool, kind of more in a midfield role. They've got Tierney from Arsenal, former Celtic player, playing at left back. Steve Clarke, the Scotland manager, has been criticised for maybe being quite boring. They've been grinding out like 0-0s, 1-0s, and they're very solid defensively. He's been going with a kind of 3-man stroke 5-man backline, and it's kind of worked. I don't think he's going to tinker too much with that. I expect a 3-5-2, but it could also be a 4-5-1. It's whether if he wants to be adventurous and play two up front. You've got Lyndon Dykes, Che Adams. The two of them look quite good together. They link up together. Dykes is a big guy, and Che Adams a lot of skill. I think Scotland's going to qualify for the second round of a major tournament for the first time ever. We've had heartbreak of losing out on every weird circumstance you could think of. It's like goal difference or team scoring last minute or stoppage time goals to put them through. And I think this is going to be Scotland's year. And then once they get through that, who knows what will happen.
So where do you see the finishes? Obviously, everybody agrees England's first, but
I have Scotland finishing second on goal difference from Croatia with the Czechs last.
Michael is officially in the Optimist Union.
I am. 2 weeks ago I wasn't, but I've come round.
Yeah, I'm going to support Michael in Scotland going second.
That's crazy. I mean, I'll be happily wrong for you, Michael, but that's crazy.
Well, we're going with the consensus. So come on, Scotland.
Okay. Croatia and Czech Republic. There. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to Group E, where we got Spain, Sweden, Slovakia, Poland.
It's a tough group. I mean, you look at it. I'm trying to get my thing up here. Like Poland, they could surprise any team on their day. But you have to still think Spain's got enough to win this group. I've got Spain, Poland, Sweden, Slovakia.
What was I?
Spain, Poland, Sweden, Slovakia. That's how I have it.
That's actually the same as me too. Yeah, that's same as me. So yeah, okay, but that's easy. This is an interesting group for me because this actually contains all my initials, SSSP. Which is fantastic. I'll be following this group now very carefully now that I noticed that. I see Spain as the runaway winners. Sweden, if honestly, and I just feel like if Ibrahimovic was healthy, they have a potential to finish second because they usually have a team that is very solid everywhere else. They just can't score goals, and Ibrahimovic, even at that age, would have been that extra leap over Poland, but. Lewandowski, if he's up to form, I see Poland finishing second in that case.
Thing with Poland, like their warm up to this hasn't been great. They drew 1-1 with Russia. They drew 2-2 with Iceland. The last competitive game they had, they lost 2-1 to England in the World Cup qualifiers. I kind of think Poland maybe peaked a couple of years ago, and their team's on a little bit of a downward spiral. I could even see like Sweden pipping them for second place in this, but I'm sticking with Poland. What about you, Zach?
So you have Poland coming second.
I've got Poland second, but
yeah.
I think it's a toss up between them and Sweden.
Yeah, same. But I'm putting Poland second just because I think
and he's in good form.
He's in good form, but he hasn't always done well in these tournaments. It needs to be noted. And
he's one of those guys. It's like Messi with Argentina.
Yeah,
struggles sometimes when he plays for his country.
Even with all his goals at Bayern and at Dortmund, one of the knocks against him is that he hasn't always scored in some of the big matches, and so I really hope that's something that stigma is something that he can overcome, and that he can really score some big goals and get Poland out of the group stage and into the knockout round where anything can happen.
Okay, so let's just move on to Group F, considering
Yeah.
that's probably where Zach really wants to talk about.
Well, this is the best group. I'm so looking forward to every single game in this, and there's a lot of interesting little twists as well.
So I'm going to move Hungary to 4th place right now. Is that
I've got Hungary 4th as well. The only thing I would say about Hungary is they've got 2 home games in Budapest, but I was going to say they're tough games. Obviously, you look at this and every single team they play is tough, but they play France in Budapest and they play Portugal in Budapest.
Yeah,
I think their best chance might have been against Germany, and that's not the game that's in Budapest.
Yeah, I just feel like they're up against like 3 strong teams. I don't think they'll be able to score. I think they'll be starving for goals by the end of this.
Let's hand things over to Zach. Tell us your thoughts on the group. You gave a little bit of thoughts of Germany off the top, but just generally in this group, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, the least excited I've been about the German squad and team and chances going into a tournament. That doesn't mean that they couldn't overcome and do well, but I see them losing to France. I see them losing or beating Portugal, and I see them hopefully easily beating Hungary. But that loss or tie to Portugal, I think, will have them. Sorry, if they tie Portugal, I think it'll have them coming 3rd. But qualifying as one of the third place teams.
Yeah.
And I see France winning the group and Portugal taking 2nd. Now I hope that like Portugal or France, who are the winners of the last 2 major tournaments, suffer from that, like Germany did at the World Cup last time, where they just come on their off on, which France has done before in the past. So it wouldn't be abnormal. But no, I find that hard. Like I think both France and Portugal are better than they were in 2016, and I think Germany's worse than they were in 2016 and 2014 and even 2018, which on paper I thought they were better than they showed, obviously. So yeah, I mean, in Hungary, the thing you need to know about Hungary is it doesn't matter where the games are; they are missing their arguably their best player or players. I forget the guy's name, but he was at Dead Bull Salzburg, the OG Dead Bull, and he got transferred, I think, in January to Leipzig and got injured and I don't think played at all in the Bundesliga this year. And I think he's like a dead ball specialist, and he's like a central attacking midfielder, I think. And he is like the center of their attack, and he's out. And then my understanding is the guy who is to replace him also got injured in one of the friendlies or World Cup qualifying or something leading up to the tournament, and he's also out. So they don't have their top 2 players to play as their kind of the creator in their midfield. So I really think they're going to suffer, and the home crowd won't be able to help them, and they're gonna. I think they're going to take a beating from all 3 teams, because all 3 teams know that they have to pound Hungary for goal differential. And then they can just win 1-0 or whatever.
Could all come down to that. I mean, who have we all got then as the group winners for this? For me, I've got France.
Me too.
Zach.
Sorry, yeah, I have France. Yeah, I said France.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I said France, and then Portugal, and then Germany, and then.
That's exactly what I've got.
And I hope I'm wrong, but
the thing is with me, it's about France. Is that I see them. Hopefully not for your sake, Zach, but I see them heating up on Germany a little bit. Like I see them like they catch Germany on and they see that they're a little weakened, and then they actually pumps them up even more to get more goals in, and that's where I could see Germany finishing 3rd because of goal differential.
This is going to be revenge for 1940 and 1982. But
okay,
can I just say the betting is so interesting, because France are favourites to win the whole tournament and Germany's 5th favourites, but for Group F, Germany are the favourites to win the group, and then France are 2nd favourites. So that to me doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, betting odds change the more people bet on a certain team too. So
Yeah,
that
it could be a lot of German fans that have backed their team. I mean,
Yeah.
Germany's like evens with one of the bookies as well. 74 is the best you can get on them. France, it's like best you can get on them is 15-8, but they're kind of 75, so almost. I mean, it's tight. They're almost evens, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the 6 third-place teams that we predicted. We got Switzerland, Russia, North Macedonia, Croatia, Sweden, and Germany. We got to pick 4 of them, and then we'll move on to the knockout stage.
I've got Switzerland, North Macedonia, Croatia, and Sweden.
I do have Germany. I have Sweden, Croatia, and Switzerland.
I'm pretty sure Zach's not got North Macedonia.
I think I did.
Oh,
Hang on. I did it on the predictor. I think I had Germany, North Macedonia. Who are the other 2? Sweden, yeah, and
Switzerland.
So it's between Switzerland and Croatia.
I think I had Turkey in mind.
Okay, but Turkey's second place, so they're already through. But who do you have? So there's 2 votes for North Macedonia, 2 for Sweden, 2 for Germany. So it's between. There was one. I voted for Switzerland and Croatia and Switzerland. It's between those 2. So
well,
who do you think?
I've voted for Switzerland and Croatia as well, so I guess we've got the 2 votes.
So who? Switzerland? So we're gonna knock out Croatia,
Oh.
then, right?
Oh, no, yes. Yeah, Zach, you need to pick between Switzerland and Croatia.
Well, my heart says Switzerland, but my head says Croatia.
There we go.
So let's go with your heart. Okay, so Switzerland through. Okay, so then we'll go on to the knockout stage. And okay, so round of 16. We don't have to go into detail on this one. We just quickly predict if you want. We got Belgium versus Sweden in the first round.
Yeah, I've got Belgium for that.
Same.
Italy versus Austria. I
have
got Italy for that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Same.
France versus Switzerland.
France.
Scotland versus Poland.
Scotland.
Poland.
Okay, Michael signs my checks. I'm going for Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you have them in this thing is this far is ludicrous.
Oh,
Spain versus North Macedonia.
Spain.
Spain.
England versus Portugal.
Yes. What a round of 16 matchup this could be.
I have Portugal.
I have Portugal as well. It would be at Wembley, I believe, so.
Oh, I didn't know that when I made the prediction. But I do have Portugal. So,
I
Zach, you
chose
got
Portugal over Spain.
Oh, well, yeah. But we're not in that round yet. It's
Sorry,
England
Portugal
versus
over England. I chose Portugal over England.
Netherlands versus Germany.
I chose Germany. Despite all the things I said, they beat them in World Cup.
I did.
The qualifying
I actually-
for this.
Yeah, I did have Germany as well in this one.
Sorry, who was that? I was looking to see if that game was
Germany and Holland.
Germany, Holland. I would go with Holland.
Yeah, but we already got 2 for Germany, so Germany's.
Okay.
Turkey, Denmark. The 2
Turkey.
surprise packages. Actually.
Denmark.
I got Turkey getting through.
I've Turkey too.
Okay, and then let's go to the next round: Belgium versus Italy.
Belgium.
I actually have Italy.
I have Italy as well because I have Italy winning this. Just as a spoiler. But
Zach, you're gonna be, if you're right, you're gonna be like be able to rub it in our faces the whole time. But I do have Italy getting through. This is because I did predict at the beginning that Belgium, when they first faced their first test, would get knocked out. France, Scotland. This is the end of the Scottish run for me.
I have France.
If France plays Scotland, it could hit double digits.
Oh, we're not going to score that many.
Spain versus Portugal.
I chose Portugal, unfortunately.
I did too.
I think so.
I did too,
I have
actually.
Spain.
Yeah, I had Portugal in this one. Germany versus Turkey. I have Germany getting through.
I have Germany.
Yeah, if it was between those two, I'd probably fancy Germany.
Okay, semifinals. You got Italy versus France. I do have France.
I have Italy.
France.
And then Portugal versus Germany.
I took Germany despite all the things I said.
I'd say Portugal.
I took Portugal as well in this one. Portugal and France in the finals. And then
I think the final is going to be exact same as last time.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think of that. I wasn't paying attention the last time at all. My predictions are probably going to be wrong anyway, so it doesn't make a difference.
My actual predictions that I've got, like of my own, I've got Italy, Spain in the final.
Oh, France and Portugal in the final. I'll go first. I got France winning.
Yeah, I'd pick France between those two, I think.
I have France winning the tournament.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Well, I mean, I mentioned about the betting odds. So France are the favourites. Then it's England, Belgium, Italy, Germany, Portugal, Spain, Holland. And then it's a big gap to all the other teams after that. I mean, even Holland's a big gap. There's not a lot to choose between France all the way down to Spain. Spain are kind of at 8s. France are at 4s. That's the lowest you can get with them. So, I mean, I have Italy winning this. I just think they're going to come good. I think they're going to get the goals. Their defence, I think, is going to get them through. Forgetting what we've just done, who was your gut winner of this?
Oh, I think France is the favorite.
Yeah, I had France winning even in my regular thing. I don't know if I had Portugal in the final, but I definitely did have France winning.
I mean, the surprise packages for me, I think North Macedonia are going to surprise a few folk, and I think Germany's going to surprise a few folk by not qualifying, but I could be completely wrong with that. But since Zach seems to hate Scotland, I'm going to stick with that.
I have Turkey as my surprise positive package and Belgium as my surprise negative package.
I think Turkey's probably after North Macedonia for me. I'm having to stick with North Macedonia because I called it on our East Fife show, so I'm sticking all the way with them. But I think Turkey is a good shout as well. What about you, Zach? Who do you feel is your surprise package? Good on bad or good or bad?
Oh yeah, I mean, where is my thing here? I mean, there's lots of. It depends on what you define as surprise. I mean, based on the bracket you just said, Scotland is by far the biggest surprise in our group one we just did. But no, I think there's going to be, even though I didn't choose this in any of my stuff, there's going to be one of these big countries, and it could be Germany. But I think if it's Germany, I think there might be two countries that are really, really underperform and either go out early or go out in the round of 16. So when I talk big countries, I'm talking, Germany, France, Spain, Holland, Portugal, Italy, kind of to England, I guess you would include that. But of the other teams, I think Belgium is good. Like I said, I think Belgium's going to do better than a lot of people are thinking they're going to do, because I think a lot of people think that the De Bruyne thing has them excluded of a deep run, and I think they're going to go at least to the semifinals, and they could even get lucky and go to the final.
Let's just round it off by picking who we feel is going to be the top goal scorer. I'll tell you the betting odds. Harry Kane's the favourite, Romelu Lukaku next, Kylian Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, Memphis Depay, Ciro Immobile, and then kind of not. Well, I guess Lewandowski's up there, but he's in the top 10. I'll kick off. I think, because I think France are going to do well, even though I haven't tipped them to win it, I think Mbappe. For France to do well, they need Mbappe to be scoring. Of course, well, he passed his Giroud. That seems to be the big talking point during the week.
Yeah, how ridiculous is that?
People weren't passing to him. But then I saw a lot of folk defending, saying it was kind of obvious that they weren't picking him out for passes. But you just come across as a whiny wee baby when you're like, they're not passing the ball to me.
It feels a little bit like the Holland team from back in the days where they used to.
Oh, they seemed to hate each other, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You don't want to be going into a tournament with a distraction like that. If you're the French coach, you're like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Why are you having this out in the open? But I think Mbappe is going to be the leading scorer for me.
My feeling is Mbappe would be a good shout, but the thing is that France is such even scoring that anybody can pot the goals in. So I'm looking at a team that is relying on one score, and there I'm kind of leaning. I was thinking about something else, but I'm kind of leaning maybe toward Harry Kane. Because they rely on him to score goals, and that's the reason why I would see that. I don't know how many goals. They're very capable of only winning 1-0 or 2-0. Maybe he doesn't get that many goals, but they have shown that they have the people that can get him the ball, and if they can, then I think he can pot some in. But of course, if he's out in the first knockout stage, then I don't see him getting that many goals after that. But
Yeah,
I'm relying on the group
they
stages.
won't. They're going to be doing okay. Although, well,
the thing
the
is,
first knockout stage. No, they could go out in the first knockout stage.
Yeah, the thing is that when you get into the knockout stages, there's not many goals. Most of the goals are scored in that group stage, so it's potential that somebody that doesn't go deep in the tournament could still win the Golden Boot.
I think when you're talking about England, I think someone like a Sancho or Sterling or maybe even Rashford could benefit from all the attention that Kane is going to get, and especially with Sancho and Sterling with their pace. I think they have the potential to to get into the space that they'll need to score goals. So I could see someone like that being like more like a surprise kind of person. But obviously, I'm hoping for someone like Lewandowski. But
the thing is with Sancho is that he's more of a passer and setup guy, and Sterling, I've heard from some people saying that he might not even start. It might be Rashford on the left side. So if that's the case, then
that's not really true about Sancho. Like I watch Sancho play a lot, and he is a winger, and they're typically more for setup, but he is like a goal-scoring winger.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm saying in this setup with England, he might be a distributor and a setup guy instead of a scorer.
Yeah, I just think he's going to have more space because Kane's going to take a lot of the attention.
Yeah, that's true. But he's not playing a Dortmund system in this. He's playing an England system, so I don't know how many goals he'll score there.
Yeah. I'm just hoping it's going to be a real fun tournament and there's going to be lots of goals. I'm hoping that VAR does not spoil it, and it's going to obviously play a big part in it. It's still going to be that situation that someone's going to score. You don't know if you can actually celebrate or not for a few minutes, which I hate. But I just hope VAR's more in the background and that we just get an enjoyable tournament, some great games, lots of goals, and Scotland lift the trophy come July. That's all I can hope for. But that is nearly it for the show. Before we go, though, we're going to have our AFTN Euro 2020 pool, sweep, whatever you want to call it. We call it kind of a sweepstake, sweep in Scotland. I know you guys call it more a pool over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick 8 teams between us by doing a kind of snake draw. So we did a randomizer beforehand, and Zach unfortunately gets first pick, then Steve, then me, then I get pick 4, and then Steve, and then Zach, etc., etc., etc. So what we're going to do, the way that we can do this, because we're going to get 8 picks each, we can pick any team at any point. So we don't have to go by group. So we don't have to say, oh, who do you want in Group A, who do you want in Group B? We'll just pick our teams. Yeah. So
it'll be good because I have no idea what's like the matchups in the second round. So I'll be picking teams against each other right away.
Yeah, so, I'm not going to base it on that either. I'm just going to pick strong teams. So I'll come up with a point scoring system. It'll probably be 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. And then if you win your group, you'll get bonus of 5 points.
And knockout games.
Yeah, knockout games, stuff like that. So we'll come up with that. So Steve's going to keep a note of this. Zach, you get first pick. Any of the 24 teams you can pick. And remember, you're doing this for the maximum points, so don't necessarily pick your favourites only. And you're muted.
So don't take Scotland then, is what you're saying?
Yes. I won't be taking Scotland until later on, so.
Well, how could you not take Scotland? You think they're getting out of the group? They're like going to a quarterfinal or something crazy. I'm going to go with the odds-on favorite, the World Cup holders, as much as it pains me to do that. I'll take them for Kingsley Coman, Lucas Hernandez, and Benjamin Pavard. I'll take France.
Pick number 1, Zachary Adam Eisenhower, France. Steve on the clock.
So I will be taking a team that I think will do well. I'm not sure if they'll get that deep, but I think they will do well. And I think just based on where they're set up and everything, I think they can. And they've done stuff recently in the Nations League. I'll be taking Portugal.
Oh, I get the next 2 picks, so that's awesome. So I'm going with the team that I have picked to win the whole shebang. So they're still available, and that is Italy. So I'm hopeful for that. Now, this is now where it's going to get a little bit interesting. I think. Well, I mean, I've gone for Italy playing Spain in the final, so I have to go with Spain.
Spain it is. Sorry, it's just going to have to be. I'm typing at the same time.
That's fine. I'm going to start keeping a note of who we've picked and who we haven't.
Oh wait, just give me a second here. Didn't know when that happened. Sorry, just updating something. And then okay, so my next team will be. I'll be taking. And I'm not doing this to spite. I'm taking Germany.
I was pretty sure you're going to do that. Okay, I'm going to take.
They were my next list. Like I have actually everything listed in order.
I'm going to take Belgium, and just for fun. Okay, I won't go for fun. I'll take Holland.
Oh.
And that's back to me. Damn it, this team I didn't want to take, but they are next on my list. Is going to be England.
That's good because I would have had to have picked them if they were still left. So my next 2 picks, I'm going to go with Turkey.
You like Roubaix a lot, eh?
I just feel they could be a bit of a surprise package. I'm trying to just back that, and then my heart says Scotland, my head says don't be stupid. So I'm going to say Denmark.
Nice. Well, I'm pretty sure Scotland's going to be available for you later.
Maybe not.
Okay, I'm next. Again, I would have taken either one of those 2 teams that Michael just took. Disappointing in that. So I have to go with my next team on my list, and that would be Croatia.
Oh.
Now where it's like there's some really big head and heart. Okay, I'm gonna take. I don't have Germany, so I'm gonna take Poland and Austria. I should be taking Denmark, but I'll leave that or Denmark or Switzerland, but I'll leave that.
Oh, I've taken Denmark already.
So. Oh, have you taken Denmark? Okay.
Yeah.
I should be taking Switzerland, but I'm gonna take Poland and Austria.
Poland and Austria. Just give me a second to type those in.
I was hoping for one of those 2. I didn't think they would be available.
It's like, okay, so next team, Poland, Austria. I'm going to go with Switzerland.
Nice.
Oh, that's good because I wanted to go with Sweden.
Yeah, I knew you were going to take that, Michael.
And I'm going with Scotland.
Good choice.
Okay. So you guys are going. I thought you guys would be discussing these picks a little bit more, and then give me some time to type everything in.
It's been a long show.
Okay,
and my hay fever is like playing up like nothing on earth. My eyes are so itchy. I need to go take an allergy pill.
So you're Sweden and Scotland?
Scotland.
Surely you have to take your North Macedonia now, don't you?
I've got a feeling they may be left. I don't know.
So
Steve is going to take them.
Let me see here. Who's next?
Oh yeah, I've only got 1 pick left, don't I?
Well, you got 2.
Yeah, you got 2.
You've got 2 left.
I got 3.
Oh,
I've got 3 too.
I don't know. Okay, I can't remember if this team was taken. I don't think they are. I'll take. Boy, that's not very much left. I'll take Russia.
Oh,
I'm not overly excited about that one, but I'll take Russia. I probably have taken somebody from the same group, but oh well.
well, I'm going to take the last team from that group because I think they're going to be better than Russia. I'm going to take Finland. And
interesting.
I don't want to take North Macedonia, so I'm not going to. Who do I want of those remainders? I don't want them. For just in case Marek Hamsik has some upsets, I'm going to take Slovakia.
Slovakia.
So by my reckoning, that leaves Wales, Czech Republic, North Macedonia, Ukraine, and Hungary.
Correct.
And I will take Ukraine.
Oh, well, I will go with North Macedonia.
Yeah, I set that up one up for you.
Thank you.
You get one more, Michael. Wales?
Wales, yeah.
Okay.
So that leaves Czech Republic and Hungary.
I will take Czech Republic.
And I'll take Peter Zimmerman's Hungary.
Interesting stuff.
Okay.
I enjoyed when we did this for the last World Cup because it made the games more interesting because, like, back home in the olden days, the Sky Bet, when they first started, their slogan was, it's always more interesting when you have a bet on it. And to be fair, it is. It's like if you've got money on it or you're doing a pool like this, it adds a little bit of fun to it.
Can you repeat your last pick, Michael?
At Wales.
Wales, okay. And then I took Czech Republic, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
And unsurprisingly, Zach was Hungary. I think that should be some good battles. I had hoped to do it with a few more of us, but it just... because we only kind of decided late to do this and we ended up not doing it. But it's good. 24 is divisible by 3 or 4.
I still think we should do a live watch along on YouTube tomorrow, Michael, even though everyone will be at work.
Yeah, I can't see lots of people tuning in for that. Maybe though. I mean, you
you might have some international people tuning in.
I'm speaking to Axel Schuster just before that game as well, so hopefully we finish in time. I've only got an hour and a half. That's like 4 questions with Axel.
Yeah, how are you going to be able to grill him on everything?
I'm just going to ask him, Turkey or Italy? Come on, tell us. But anyway, that is it for our Euros preview. That is it for this show, in this episode. Thank you for watching along. We're releasing this as a video for the Euros part. If you're watching that, you know that. We're also releasing it as a podcast. There's going to be extra stuff in the podcast, though. We're going to be talking about Canada, have some music thrown in there as well. So definitely check that out in all your usual podcast places. Just before we go, just any final words, Zach, and let folk know where they can find you online.
I hope that I'm wrong in my thoughts on Germany, and I hope they overcome. You can find me on Twitter at ZacharyAM. And it's been a pleasure as always, Michael and Steve.
Any final words for you, Steve?
I'm excited for the tournament. I'm glad I might have to make Zach root against Germany in a couple of these based on this predictions.
Never going to happen. He doesn't care that much.
I
have to come up with a prize he wants to win.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at WhitecapsSpeed.
I'm Michael McCall. You can find me on Twitter at AFTN Canada. Check out all our stuff away from the numbers, aftn.ca. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, ring the bell, like the video, comment, all that kind of stuff. It really helps us. We're slowly getting those subscriber numbers up. Still aiming to get to 1,000. It's going to be a long slog, let's be honest. But I'm looking forward to the Euros. We'll do some more fun things soon, I'm sure. Until next time, thanks for watching or listening, whatever your chosen medium was. We'll be back soon. Till then, take care. And come on, Scotland! You can do it.